Now, under this law, Section 2340, there are only 4 practices that constitute in any way severe mental pain. And these include 1, drug injection, 2, death threats, 3, threats against another, 4, extreme physical pain. Now, in actual practice, this definition does not ban any of the dozens of actual CIA methods developed over the past 5 decades, which include self-inflicted pain, sensory disorientation, attacks on cultural identity, attacks on individual psyche, hybrid methods such as waterboarding, and 6th, and most importantly, creative combination of all these methods, which individually might otherwise seem banal, if not benign. Now, if you want an analogy to make the curious exclusionary logic of this legislation perfectly clear, let me turn now to the realm of popular culture. How many people know the board game Clue? Everybody know the board game Clue? Okay, all right. Now, this law would be like, for example, if we'd taken a leaf from the board game Clue and defined murder as only those killings done by Mrs. White in the conservatory with the candlestick, thereby allowing or legalizing all the other murders in the game done by more conventional means such as poison, pistols, rifles, knives, ropes, clubs, or bombs. To test my critical assessment, maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe this is an important stride forward in the field of human rights. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Let's ask whether this new law bans the most extreme of the CIA's new enhanced methods, waterboarding. Now, while the White House has refused comment, Vice President Cheney stated last October that, quote, a dunk in the water to extract information was, quote, a no-brainer for me. As the administration's leader on interrogation policy, Vice President Cheney's words make clear, despite White House obfuscation, that waterboarding is legal, in its opinion, under the new law. By its omissions, this legislation has effectively legalized the CIA's right to use methods the international community, embodied in the Red Cross and the UN Human Rights Committee, justly considers psychological torture. For the first time in the 200 years since 1791, when the United States Congress ratified the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution banning self-incrimination, Congress has passed a law allowing coerced testimony in U.S. courts. The implications of this military commissions law are profound, and this law is now facing legal challenge. But when this case reaches the Supreme Court, we cannot expect that a Roberts Court will overturn this law with the same ringing rhetoric that we have seen in 2 recent landmark Supreme Court decisions, Rasool v. Bush and Hamdan v. Rumsfeld. If this law stands, with its provisions for torture and drumhead justice at Guantanamo, then the United States will suffer, I argue, continuing damage to its moral leadership in the international community. Looking through a glass darkly into the future, Washington may try to return to that convenient Cold War contradiction, public compliance with human rights treaties and secret torture in contravention of those same diplomatic conventions. Yet the world is no longer blind to once clandestine CIA methods, and this attempt at secrecy will likely produce another scandal similar to Abu Ghraib.